We are hitting a breaking point with how we work. For years, the default design for productivity tools has relied on red badges, expiring streaks, and gamified progress bars that manufacture a constant sense of urgency. When pressure for output exceeds ethical guardrails, it creates a documented path towards exhaustion. Research into organizational trust shows that as these aggressive metrics scale, they don't just lead to individual burnout, they often trigger a spike in corporate misconduct as workers cut corners just to keep the progress bars green. The common reaction when we feel overwhelmed is to search for a new piece of software. We assume that changing the interface of our task list will fix the underlying exhaustion of our work style. To build a sustainable work life, you have to look past the software. It requires aligning an internal ethical framework with the external tools you use to manage your time. If you download a new application without updating the mindset you use to approach your work, you are really just finding a more efficient way to automate your anxiety. To find a reliable internal framework, we can look past modern wellness trends and examine a rigorous, historical operating system for ethical business, Buddhist philosophy. A core component of this system is the concept of right livelihood. This is the practice of engaging in economic activity that explicitly prioritizes social impact and strictly refuses to cause harm to others. To apply this to daily tasks, early texts document a mental filter known as the 4 right exertions. You must proactively abandon unwholesome habits, like operating out of greed or manufactured panic, while intentionally arousing wholesome states, like mindfulness in your daily routines. You have to master this internal discipline first. Until you decide how you want to filter your attention, no software tool can effectively manage your time. Let's look at what actually happens when you bring Buddhist ethics and right livelihood into a modern corporate environment. This shift changes the employee experience. When daily tasks align with the concept of non-harm, the daily friction of moral compromise disappears. Staff members find they no longer have to reconcile their personal ethics with their paychecks, which drastically reduces the urge to quit. This comparison matrix breaks down these approaches. Here in the first row, we map the Buddhist baseline. You input ethical practice, and you get high retention. But look at the trade-off. It creates direct friction with capitalist expectations of maximizing short-term profit. True ethical alignment means making a conscious, sometimes difficult decision. You are stating that long-term team resilience is more valuable than maximizing quarterly output volume. Once that internal philosophy is set, you can evaluate the software. The first category is the guided tech stack, tools like Sansama or Keelify that are designed to force mindfulness through friction. These apps require specific inputs from you. You commit to daily planning rituals and track your mood alongside your tasks. These tools focus on the closing ritual. By reviewing what you accomplished and dragging unfinished tasks into tomorrow, this replaces looming anxiety with a structured plan. Returning to our matrix, the second row illustrates the catch. The guided stack requires mandatory friction, carrying a high recurring financial cost. The next category is the AI delegation stack. These are algorithmic schedulers like Motion and Reclaim. The input here is total surrender. You hand full control of your calendar over to an AI, allowing it to automatically schedule your tasks and protect your focus blocks. The outcomes solve a massive pain point. You achieve zero-effort calendar Tetris, and your time is mathematically optimized. On the third row of our matrix, we see the cost. Constant schedule rebalancing strips away personal agency, inducing the exact anxiety you are trying to escape. Finally, we have the blank slate tools. Think of mature, neutral task managers like Todoist, Things3, or Notion. The input here is simply your own workflow. These tools do not force any specific philosophy or behavioral enforcement onto you. Because of that, the outcomes are ultimate user flexibility and visually uncluttered interfaces. They offer a very low cost of entry. Our final matrix row reveals the danger of the blank slate. There are no guardrails against hustle culture. You are left entirely responsible for enforcing your own boundaries. A neutral tool will simply amplify your existing operational philosophy. It will ruthlessly expose whether your current working habits are wholesome or unwholesome. The core truth remains: an app cannot exert discipline for you. Mindful productivity is a practice, not a download. To choose the right tool, this flowchart diagnoses your barrier. For anxious task overload, The prescription is a guided tool, acting as a strict guardrail. If you possess the discipline of the 4 right exertions, but lack time, use AI delegation. Selecting the correct software depends entirely on identifying your specific behavioral failure points first. But if your barrier is systemic burnout or ethical drift across a team, you need to step away from software fixes entirely. If you manage others, your responsibility is to implement the principles of right livelihood and construct authentic corporate social responsibility frameworks across your teams. Leaders must prioritize the long-term interconnectedness of their workforce and society over the short-term volume of tasks completed. You have the agency to stop optimizing your systems for speed alone. The ultimate return on investment of mindful productivity is a resilient, ethical work life that survives the long term.